Hi everyone, I'm JD from Willow Journals. Welcome back to my channel. I am a journaler, journal maker and teacher of journaling courses, and today we are up to day 9 for the Inspiration Journal course, where I'm showing you how I make this collage art journal, and the collage prompt for today is paint. So I know we have used paint before, or I have used paint before, but I was focusing more on the map page for that particular prompt. And for today, I really wanted to paint over the top of this mirror image. So this page came from a magazine called Daphne's Diary. So that's my favorite magazine. I got many flip throughs of that magazine and lots of videos showing how I use that magazine and make journals with it. And yeah, when I get a new issue, I always go through it and pull out pages or cut out words and images that speak to me that I know that I would like to use in my own journaling. So when I saw this page in the magazine, I can't remember which issue it was, but yeah, I just love the mirror. I like mirrors in terms of not necessarily in real life, the way that I like teacups, not in real life, but when I see pictures of teacups and when I see pictures of mirrors, those are two types of pictures that I tend to cut out, just for the decorative nature and also for the mirror because of its symbolic, meaning, thinking about reflection and identity and self-discovery and all of that kind of thing, which ties in nicely with journaling. So I'm just fussy cutting that mirror out. I love it. I love the gold and the frame of it. Looks really cool. And this is why also I like having bigger journals where the page size is larger so that I can fit larger images on there. So if there's a book page or a magazine page where I want to pretty much keep the entire page, having a bigger journal to work with really helps me to be able to just stick those things down on the page without having to cut them down, and hopefully not cutting them down at all, but if I do, not having to cut them down too much. So my idea is just to keep this page spread really simple because that frame is the star of the show, and I knew I wanted to cover up those faces, or well, they're not really faces, they're faceless, the hairstyles. So I thought I would use paint to cover those up, and that way I would have this wonderful journaling blank space in the middle of that mirror, and then I could use that mirror as a journaling prompt to work on journaling about identity and stuff like that. So I'm just going to do a gold background to tie in with the gold mirror, and I like that the mirror, it's sort of more of a bronze than a gold, so I was a bit worried that the gold would blend in too much with the mirror, but yeah, it lifted nicely having the metallic gold paint. This is just acrylic paint, and then the more coppery bronzy mirror still stands out quite a lot from the gold paint. And I just have fun covering the entire page. The other half of this page spread, I just cover the entire page with the gold paint. Later on I do add a bit of copper paint, I think it's called, or bronze, one of the two. I think it's the bronze more actually. The copper's more got a red tone to it, whereas the bronze has more of a brown tone to it, so a darker gold basically. And I just did that to give it a bit more depth, a bit more definition, a bit more interest and layers to the page, and also to bring in more of that the bronze of the mirror. And I like having you kind of see through the page to the background. I think I do a couple layers of paint just because I want to cover up it's cool just to see a little bit faintly the words in the background, but not too much. So I think I do go over it for a second go, and also using the bronze paint helps with that, just covering up some more of the background. And with this one, since I'm not really gluing anything down onto the page in terms of collage materials, lots of papers, I didn't worry about adding washi tape down the middle of the spine, so that was good. because the more washi tape you add to the middle of your spines, or where the hinge of the pages are, the thicker it will get in the middle there. So where possible, I try to not use the washi tape, just to keep it nice and compact and thin in that area in the middle of the book, so the pages turn nicely and it's not, you know, bulky in weird places. So yeah, I'm going to do a gold background, and then for the middle of the mirror I do silver. So this metallic paint set is wonderful because all of the colors, it comes with all the normal colors of your paints, but they're all metallic. So instead of having like a solid gray, it's a metallic, yeah, silver, which I love. And then I pretty much just leave it like that. It's the paint that's the star of the show, along with this mirror, obviously. And then this gives me a lot of writing space or journaling space to work with. But my idea in terms of the journaling prompt and for adding to this page, these are just background pages to prepare for your whatever you want to add to the top, whether it's writing or photos or ephemera or all of the above. So I knew, because of the mirror image, that I would do a page to do with something along the lines of selfie, identity, that kind of thing. So I definitely knew I wanted to put a selfie onto the page. So I challenge you, maybe that's something you want to do, put a selfie on the page. And then for me, what I wanted to document for this particular page was personality. Now, I am a huge personality advocate in terms of personality tests and getting to know yourself better. I'm definitely not one of those people who thinks that once you know your personality test, it's an excuse to just say, oh, well, that's just my personality, I can't change. No. Or I'm definitely not one of those people where it's like, once you know your personality, it locks you in and you're in a box. No, the way I see personality tests and knowing about your personality is that it's a way to know yourself better, work on your weaknesses, develop your strengths, and maybe change some things about your personality. In the psychology world, I believe one theory is that personality isn't fixed. Maybe like your temperament can be quite fixed, but the personality itself is often just defense mechanisms that you have subconsciously taken on as a way of coping in the world. And so personality, we can sometimes think of it as this fixed thing that will always stay the same, that we can't do anything about. But actually, personality can often be like a mask that we wear, and not our true selves, but just the outer layer that we present to the world to cope, to get through it, to get by. And so that's why I love, these tests and getting to know yourself more, self-knowledge, self-growth, all of that kind of stuff, self-discovery, because it really helps you work out, well, what is my personality and what is just the mask I wear, or what is just a coping strategy versus who you really are, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I love personality tests in that they are tools to know yourself better, but not be locked in a box, and not use that as an excuse to not change or not to work on your weaknesses and to go, yeah, that's just a weakness I have and that's just there forever. No, I see that as an opportunity to develop that weakness, and to, now that you're made aware of it, for example, that gives you that responsibility now to actually do something about it, not just go, oh, well, that's just me, what can you do? No, you've got agency, you have some say in the matter and can, work on yourself and work on these traits and that kind of thing. So if you want to see the journaling portion of this video, so on my channel every day I put out a video showing my collage process or my art journal process for creating this inspiration journal that I've made here, if you want to follow along at home. But if you would also like to add journaling and add other things to your pages like I do, then you can check out my Patreon. The link will be in the description box below. And the Sapphire tier is the video tier, and that's where you can see all the videos for each day as well. So if you just are hungry for more videos, at the end of watching each collage process video, you can head on over there and then follow up with the journaling video, and hopefully that gives you some extra inspiration for ways you can actually add writing to your journals. I show lots of different techniques of how to add writing. Sometimes I write paragraphs, sometimes I just write one sentence, sometimes I write a list, sometimes I write all over the page, just little fragments all around the page. Others I write more standardly, where it's, you know, just straight in a passage down the page kind of thing. And yeah, really fun. For this one, what did I do? I first of all added some washi tape and some 3 selfies, and I did current ones, so where possible I try to use this journal as a reflection of where I am now, rather than getting photos from a long time ago. Sometimes I do that, but where it's relevant or fitting. But where possible, I want this to be like an up-to-date journal to reflect and represent who I am now, what's going on in my life now, my current thoughts and feelings, my current state of being, that type of thing. And yeah, so I've got 3 selfies from this year, relatively recent ones, and then I like one of them, I'm in front of my photo wall, so I made a photo gallery this year, which I've had so much fun doing, and I love that it doubles, you know, it's not just decorative and makes me happy to look at, but also I use it as a little selfie wall. So having that backdrop is really wonderful, and it's basically 2 strings of fairy lights, and I've got these pegs that clip on different photos or quotes or artworks, and then yeah, they all mean something to me. So it's kind of like a journal on my wall. It's like a gallery wall where each piece, each image and word, it makes up my creative biography that shares some of my stories and shares pieces of who I am. So maybe that's how you want to journal. I love that there's so many ways to journal. I was talking to some people last night about journaling, and how, yeah, they kept asking me, can you journal about this? Can you journal about this? And what about this? And, you know, one of them was inspired to do a quote journal and a song lyrics journal. And another lady, she was like, what about a list journal? And I'm like, yes, you can do a list journal. And then they're like, what about a gratitude journal? Yes, a gratitude journal, a faith journal, a prayer journal, you know, just an everyday journal. I keep them all. I have journals for everything. It was so funny. They were like, oh, can you journal about this? I'm like, yes, here's, look at this one. This is where I journal about that. And then someone else was like, what about this type of journal? Like, yep, I pulled out that one and showed them that one. So it was so fun. So yeah, you can definitely journal about anything. So yeah, on this particular page, I journal about my personality from all the various tests that I have done throughout my life. So there's the MBTI, Myers-Briggs Typology Indicator. That was the very first one that I was introduced to. So the story is, back when I was in, I think it was either year 10? No, I think it was year 11 or year 12, around that age, where I first discovered MBTI and personality tests. And as soon as I found that test, it was like a light bulb moment, and I've never looked back since that moment. That's when I became a personality test fan, because when I read my profile, it was like it was reading me to a T. And at that stage in my life, you know, when you're a 16, 17-year-old, things can be a bit confusing in the world, and you don't really know your place in the world, or I didn't really know where I stood in the world, or who I was really, and had lots of thoughts or insecurities about, I just thought that my personality wasn't a good one. Lots of people told me that I was boring. Lots of people told me when I was at school, you know, that they didn't get me and all that kind of stuff. When I read the profile though, it made me realize, it's okay to be who you are. It's okay to have the personality you have. There's no right or wrong personality. They're all just different. And even though the people at school didn't necessarily understand me, or I always felt like no one got me. They didn't get me, I would say, the things I was interested in, for example, or the things I was thinking about, and they would just either laugh or be confused or not understand, or downright just say those words like "you're so boring" or "you're so uninteresting" or something like that. And or a lot of times you're too quiet, you're so quiet, and all that kind of stuff. So I grew up those school years just thinking, oh, there must be something wrong with me, like I need to change. I had all these thoughts running through my head, and then reading that test or the results, I was like, oh my gosh, it's okay to be me. And so ever since then, I've looked at more tests and found more, I guess, just validation and kind of affirmation, that kind of thing. And I worked on a lot of things. There were some things I wasn't happy about that I knew was me, but I worked on them and developed them. And continue. It's a lifelong journey to keep working on these things. And so I definitely recommend having a look at them. Another one is the Enneagram. Then there's the Strengths Finder, DISC, and all these other ones. If you want to know about them, and if you want to know more about my particular personality, I chat about that in the journaling video, where I show you how I do my journaling, and also chat about these different tests and the results that resonate with me, in particular where I am right now. So I hope you like that page. I love this page. It's one of my favorites in this journal. Hope you're doing well, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys. Big special thank you to all my beautiful patrons who supported in May. Thank you for allowing me to do this for another month. I hope you absolutely love being a patron and all the extra rewards you get over on my Patreon. You get access to extra videos and printables and personal updates, first access to my journals, and much more. So if you'd like to become a patron in June, feel free to check out the link in the description box to my Patreon.